Hello everyone, this is Ardeen. Welcome back to my channel, Ardeen Explores. Firstly, I would want to apologize for not being able to post a video last week. I had some personal commitments and hence I could not upload this video last week. However, I'm back. So today we are going to speak about product requirement document. It is one of the most important document which is going to be handy for us as product owners. So let's begin. Now, firstly, what is a PRD, right? So building any product is going to involve a lot of planning. Of course, would have a lot of research work done, and also the most important thing is interaction with multiple stakeholders and then trying to gather information from them, right? So keeping everyone on the same page is merely impossible, and then trying to update everyone on what's happening becomes a very tedious job, and hence having one document which is going to be your source of truth becomes your savior. Like I mentioned, building great products is going to involve a lot of research work, and without having the proper knowledge of what needs to be done by whom, we are likely to create a development mess which none of us want to really do. So as product managers, this document is going to come handy, and it is going to keep everybody in the team on the same page on what needs to be done to be able to successfully deliver the product. Now, creating this document could be a very intimidating because there are multiple ways of creating this document, and because this is going to be one of the detailed document of what is being developed, there are few things that you might want to keep in your mind, and some things which are very important for you to communicate to your stakeholders, because at the end of the day, this document needs to be signed off by all of your stakeholders, and this document is going to serve as a source of truth for your development team, and they will basically look at this document in case they are struck anywhere. Now, basically, what is this PRT going to speak about, right? Just on a high level, what is the purpose of building this product? What are the use cases that we are covering in this product? What are the different features and functionalities that are going to come up? And what are the timelines for this build? This is basically the high level overview of what this document is going to contain. However, each of these headers could be further split into multiple subtitles or subheaders, which I will speak in just about a minute. So a good PRD template will be different for every team, and it completely depends on what is your objective while you're trying to come up with any solution for a problem statement. However, there are a few generic things that are applicable for almost everybody. Example, what is going to be the goal and the objective of this particular document? Who are the key stakeholders? What are the different user personas and stories that you're going to consider? What are the release date details? What are the different designs and frameworks that you want to include? What are the different risks that you have identified during the course of time? And finally, what is going to be the future roadmap and interactions that are going to happen in the future, right? So again, this is just a broad overview on how a PRD can appear. You are literally free to make any edits to this kind of format. I am going to attach pointer by pointer so that it's easier for you to basically note it down. Having said that, let's just dive deep into each point that I just spoke about. So goals and objectives, right? This is the part where you're saying, why are we building this product in the first place? You're basically explaining everybody what is the goal of building this product or any kind of feature that you're working about, and it is definitely going to provide everybody a context of what is going to be your product life cycle. It will also help everybody in the room get aligned to the broader mission, which is definitely going to be a part of vision, right? Now, this segment is also going to help everybody get a clarity on what is a problem statement that you're solving for, and this will also ensure that the development team is going to create a product that solves a purpose and not a product that is basically an engineering friendly product, but a product which is going to solve a problem statement, and it is going to be for the user. The second part is the key stakeholders. It's very simple, but this is often overlooked in the PRD, but it is important to identify who are going to be your stakeholders for every step in the development process. Now, this should include, but let's not limit it to what I just say. You may include as many stakeholders as you want to, but the product manager, of course, the internal and external designers, and if there are any, it'll also include your developers, would include your testers, would also include the product document owner, which would be you. And if there are any direct or indirect leadership involved in this, who would basically want to review this document and provide their sign off, their names also needs to be included in this. So the reason we want to put everybody's names to their respective roles in this document is so that anybody, for that matter, example development team, needs certain clarifications, they know whom they want to approach and get answers to their questions, rather than just waiting for a collaborative meeting. Now let's speak about the third one, which is user personas and stories. So these personas are so very essential in the development process. Right, so now each persona that you are basically creating should be acting like an input onto the product development. These are the personas that are going to provide the product a use case. Now, many of the newer projects, they tend to basically slip here a little bit because they kind of build the product for almost all the same kind of persona by just a single or 2 or 3 differences. But a successful or a considerate product manager needs to consider different variations in these personas. Example, you need to know who your users are. What is the geolocation of your user? You need to know what is the name of your user, the gender of the user, what's the occupation of the user, maybe what are the hobbies of the user. And basically having these questions are going to make you create a persona. And most importantly, you need to know what specific need does your product solve for this user. So once you have these kind of answers, you are going to basically create a personality, or basically a virtual person in mind, and you're going to be like, as a person, I want this product so that I can do certain job. Now you in your head know that, okay, example, as Arlene, or as a person who is more into mathematical calculations, I want this calculator to help me perform complex calculations. So now anybody who's going to develop this for me has a persona in their mind telling that this user who's going to use this product that we are developing is for sure going to perform a lot of complex calculations. And now to perform these complex calculations, there'll be a lot of other use cases, like what could be different inputs to these complex calculations, what are different variables that we need to consider, what could be the output format for these complex calculations. With one persona identification, we actually came out with multiple different questions, and for these different questions we really need to have answers. So this is how a requirement gets groomed. The next one is the release dates and release notes. So release dates are definitely determined based upon multiple factors. Example, how much of a work is it to build whatever feature we are expecting to get built? What would be the dev efforts? What would be the QA testing efforts? If there is any UAT planned or no, and if there is a UAT planned for it, those timelines also need to be considered. And then finally consolidating all of these timelines, we come up with a release date. Now, once you have a release date, the most important thing is you need to have your release notes ready. So these are super duper important. It is not only going to help the product team to stay on track, but it'll help anybody who is going to use our system, basically any stakeholder who further have stakeholders who are using our product. They are going to get informed that, okay, with this upcoming release, these are the things that are going out. How is this going to impact the users? So all this information needs to be there in your release note. The product release notes should include the milestone name, the features, what are the fixes that we have in this upcoming release, and what are the upcoming improvements, so that anybody who's going to refer this document knows what is happening now and what is going to happen in future. The next one is design and wireframes. So visual designs and wireframes are must for any successful product requirement document. This is going to help your engineers to visualize the design and answer the pain points of the particular user persona that you have created. So by introducing wireframes at this stage, you are basically able to identify problems and find solutions that would have not appeared if you would have not given a visual representation of what you want to do. So do not think from a graphic designer point of view at this stage. You just need to provide a blueprint of what are you expecting when you think about a user persona who's trying to use this feature of yours, and define a core functionality around that blueprint. So this is basically going to help all the stakeholders understand that how the user experience is going to flow, what is going to happen when something is being clicked, what is going to happen when something is being submitted, and post that what is the user experience. So start to end of user experience needs to be shown like a movie, and that happens with the help of these wireframes. You can learn about these wireframes from any of the YouTube videos. They are pretty simple. I basically use MS Visio, but free feel to use anything you want to. The next thing is risks. A risk can be anything from inaccurate or shaky timelines to a new code, to a new hire, or any particular integrations or any external or internal resource needed to be swapped, anything. So being able to identify these risks in an early process is going to give the product team a little timing so that they can actually have a plan B ready, so that nothing is going to get as impacted as it would have been if we wouldn't have recognized these risks earlier. So product is never really a finished piece of work. It should be in a constant state of flux, learning from its use, being adaptive, and growing to new technologies as we move towards the future. So the first iteration of your product is what I would say as a first draft. So as a product manager or say product owner, what you should be able to ask yourself as to what are the functional requirements which are essential for your MVP as a minimum viable product, and what can wait to get proceeded in the next iterations. So perhaps you can also consider that what are the functionalities that you can hold back, so that you are now being able to gather data from your first release and then understand what is the right way to proceed for these functionalities that you decided to hold back. So try to plan your future roadmap in such a way that every time you release it should be a delight for the customer. It should always, every release should always solve the pain point of your customer. So guys, this is what I had for today. PRD is the best friend of us, the product managers. I hope you must have learned something from this video. Feel free to share your comments and feedbacks in the comment section. And I am going to make sure that my next video comes on time. Till then, thank you so much. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and take care of yourself. Bye-bye.